Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and it's another Martial Monday. Today, we're going to start on a new path, a new way. We're going to be covering the monk subclasses because I hate myself apparently.
We went down a dark path with
yeah.
the barbarians. I don't think it's going to get much lighter, but I do think monk gets a little bit of a bad rep. I think it is, in a lot of circumstances, just like a perfectly fine casual class that's going to do some cool things. But the moment you stack it against like any kind of build that's like using feats, it just falls apart. So, I have seen at many tables that I've run with people that aren't like as invested into, haven't finished a player's handbook cover to cover. They are very likely going to find monk does just fine. That being said, this particular subclass we're talking about today, I think, is way overtaken and pretty useless. So,
I apologize for my camera going nuts.
You want to restart?
No.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix itself. All right, so today we're going to begin at the beginning. We're talking about the way of the Astral Self monk.
Yeah, I have seen this option played a lot. It has never once impressed me, not a single time. I've always been like, yep, that sure does nothing. It's mainly in the low tiers, though, to its credit. I haven't seen much of the upper tier stuff of it. I don't ever think I will. So the first love feature you get for the way of the Astral Self is called Arms of the Astral Self.
Okay.
Which thematically is really cool, right? Like, if I'm doing an Astral Monk, I want to have the 8 blue arms around me and floating up in space. Like, Zenyatta from Overwatch 2 is a good example, where you got these weird spectral halo arms that punch and throw orbs of light and crap, right? That's kind of where I would want an Astral Monk to go. This promises you that and then doesn't do anything with it. This is kind of like you have those extra limbs, but they're just extra limbs. Okay? Because it says, at 3rd level, you master your key allows you to summon a portion of your Astral Self, a bonus action. You can spend a key point. You can spend a key point on this, which you spend a key point to summon the arms of your Astral Self. When you do so, each creature of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you makes a dex saving throw or takes damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die. Okay? You get functionally a Burning Hands-ish. It's 2d4 damage. Okay. For 10 minutes, these special arms hover near your shoulders or surround your arms, your choice. You determine the arm's appearance when they vanish early if you're incapacitated or die. I'm convinced that's the reason people take this feature, take this subclass, and unfortunately, that's kind of the coolness factor, all of it's bundled in there. Because what the special arms do, you get these effects. You can use your wisdom modifier in place of your strength modifier while making strength checks and saving throws. Sure, you go from probably a +1 to a +2 most of the time. You can use the arms to make unarmed strikes, like you could do with your regular fists. When you make an unarmed strike with one of these arms on your turns, you got reach. Okay. Reach, sure. Does that matter? And then the unarmed strikes you make with your arms can use your wisdom modifier in place of your strength or dex to make attack and damage rolls. Their type is force. Sure. This is non-text. Almost all of this is non-text. I can't tell you when it's ever been relevant. I've seen an arms of the Astral Self up. It'll hit like sometimes when you'll use it as your You'll use your bonus action to summon them. It's like, oh, I had a cool turn. Then you remember that Fury of Blows also costs a bonus action and hits things with your fists. So, like, maybe you hit 2 things, and it's slightly better than a Flurry of Blows every once in a while. That's not good enough for a full subclass feature. It's just not. And the rest of the words here are like reach and that's not good enough. Reach isn't enough.
Is something?
Technically.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, you can use the first part. You use your wisdom modifier. That's not nothing, right?
It's +1
the
vast majority of the time, and the vast majority of the time it's for athletics checks that you don't intend to make. Like, you're not grappling with this character ever, just because grappling is fundamentally not a good thing to do.
A lot of people disagree. A lot of people are grappling. I'm surprised to find out in the comments sections.
I think you're often wasting actions doing grappling, especially on monk.
I agree.
Although it might just be that monk is so bad that grappling is kind of a side grade. The other people that do more damage than me have a more likely time fitting here, sure. I think that this Province is a really cool fantasy, and it does tell you your character looks like this. I don't think it meaningfully delivers on that fantasy at all. I think what it looks like to me, from like a mechanics perspective, is you grow like long noodly arms. That's what this feels like to me. I don't get astral outside of the force damage at all. And that makes me kind of go, I don't really like this. You could say this is you're like doing a breakdance move, spinning around circles, hitting everyone around you for the 2d4 damage. I'd be like, that sounds like within Monk's parameters and exactly what could be happening with Arms of the Astral Self. I don't know.
I kind of get I envision the astral. I see the monk, just with his real arms folded and just these spectral arms going out and punching things while he's inner piecing or whatever.
If only you could like levitate or something. That would make this a lot cooler, wouldn't it? Because right now you have to still run around and punch people normally.
Yeah. Well.
I think this feature is quite bad. Not unusable by any stretch. It is a tiny bit of an upgrade over Flurry of Blows sometimes, but that is kind of the extent of it. And I wouldn't read it as more than that because I think you'll be disappointed if you expect this to be more than that.
All
6th
right,
level
well,
Visage of the
what do we
Astral
got?
Self, which is you summon a Visage of your Astral Self as a bonus action, or as part of the bonus action you take when you activate the arms. You can spend another key point to summon the Visage for 10 minutes. It vanishes early if you are incapacitated or die. The Visage covers your face like a helmet or mask. You determine its appearance. While the spectral vid isn't present, you gain the following benefits. You can see normally in darkness and magical darkness to a distance of 120 feet. You get advantage on Wisdom, Insight, and Charisma Intimidation checks. And when you speak, you can direct your words to a creature of your choice that you can see within 60 feet of you, making it only so that creature can hear you. Ultimately, you can amplify your voice so that all creatures within 600 feet can hear you.
Okay.
How do we feel about thaumaturgy? Well,
I don't feel great about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Is any of this
I was
worth a key
okay
point?
with no, I was okay with the 3rd level stuff, but man, I'm 6th level now. I feel like I'm getting nothing. I can see in the dark. That's okay, I guess.
If someone else is setting up magical darkness for you, that's kind of a Q combo because you get advantage on all your attack rolls and they want on theirs, but you don't have any tools to make that darkness yourself if you're just 6 levels in monk.
Right.
So that kind of sucks.
But yeah, if you do have like a friend who's got a warlock friend who's got their own thing going on, you can hop on with that.
Yeah, if you pair this with the Devil Sight Warlock, it's probably where it has its best home. The Wisdom of the Spirit is like the you advantage on Wisdom, Insight, and Charisma Intimidation checks. Those aren't skills that, like, specifically Intimidation is not one that I equate with the Tranquility Astral Self monk.
No.
Like, not even a little bit, which is kind of like, that's what you pull from the first one. And you get this, like, weird mask thing, which kind of, it's cool thematically. I just don't, I don't foresee this being something you're good at. Like, this isn't really Monk's wheelhouse ever. The last thing, Monks already need a billion ability scores to work. They need Dex, they need Wiz, they need Con, they need, like, a ton of different things going for them. To also then say you want to do the Intimidation stuff is like, well, you got at best, a +1. Advantage isn't going to salvage that a whole lot whenever your Bard's got an expertise and is rolling +11s on these things, right? Like, they're still going to do the Deceptions and Intimidation stuff. They'll still even make the Intimidation checks with a +4 mod over your +1, right? So, like, that's not great. And then Insight is very situational. It's a useful skill, don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm spending a key point to get advantage on it whenever the help action exists. Like,
yeah, and then Word of the Spirit, that's nothing.
yeah, it's Message or Thaumaturgy. And those two things stable together for a key point still isn't worth it. These all could just be things you got, and I'd be like, that's still pretty bad. But you have to spend a resource on this, and you have 6 key points to your name. So, like, I didn't open with this, but monks have a really big issue with budgeting key points early on. 6th level, you still feel the pressure a bit. It starts to alleviate around 5th and 6th level whenever you're getting, 5 rounds of using key points, then you short rest, and then 5 rounds of using key points, then you short rest. I just don't see me wanting to do this over Flurry of Blows. I don't see me wanting to do this over Stunning Strike, which is now online, which is kind of the monk's entire gimmick. So, like...
yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't think this is a particularly meaningful feature. I do think monks desperately want things to do out of combat. This ain't it. Moving on to 11th level, we got Body of the Astral Self. Starting at 11th level, whenever you've both your astral arms and Visage summoned. So you just spend 2 key points to get to here. You can cause the body of your astral self to appear, no action required. The spectral body covers your physical form like a suit of armor, connecting with the arms and the visage, which is such a gigantic miss in flavor. Monk's whole deal is they are unarmored. It's the entire, like, this is their thing. It literally is, like, based in a lot of real life things of Tibetan monks and, like, wearing the robes and doing the monastic traditions and stuff. Right? Like, you're not a knight. You're not an astral knight.
Well,
you're an astral monk.
I don't think, I mean, it says it's like a suit of armor. It just means that it's covering your body. I don't think it has to look like armor or act like armor. I mean, this is just, the body of your astral self to appear. All right, this is the body. It looks like the body of your astral self.
Which is what? What does that
I
look
don't,
like?
I don't know, a ghost or something. I
A
don't know what
ghost or
astral
something.
selves look like,
That's fair.
but they don't
Anyway,
look like armor.
you're right. I'm being unfair. This is not necessarily breaking convention. I read the word armor and got irrationally annoyed. Anyway, I hate the subclass so much. A little bit irrationally, but I hate the subclass so much. Anyway, the features that you actually get. So while the body is present, which again you need to spend 2 key points to start up, you get deflect energy. So when you take acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, or thunder damage, you can use your reaction to deflect it. Okay. When you do so, the damage you take is reduced by a d10 plus your wisdom modifier. Yeah. Okay. And then you get empowered arms. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a target with your arms or astral self, you can deal extra damage equal to the target, equal to your extra damage to the target, equal to your martial arts die, which at this stage is like a d8. So it's once per round. Of the 4 attacks you're making, you do 1 d8 bonus damage on one of them.
Why are they so cheap about this?
1 bonus d8 on one of them. This is 11th level. This is when 6th level spells. We just talked about Gravity Fissure, which gives you an 8d8 line of decimation. And you get 1 bonus d8 per round. That's what you get as a monk. You just spend 2 key points on this, by the way. 2.
Yeah.
Dose. Deflect energy is kind of neat, but like, it's not going to be a most encounters kind of thing. You're not going to regularly be finding one of those damage types to be in every single encounter. A lot of them will have a few. Like, I think some percentage of your encounters, especially at this tier, will be like, one of these is present. Maybe over half. I don't know if that's consistent though. So like, and even then, a reaction to reduce your damage taken once per round by a d10 is not a lot. Like, I would rather just remove like why couldn't it just be reaction to mitigate half the damage? That would be at least scaling. And then you could be like, oh, that 30d6 damage fire breath, I have a cool body of the astral self to help me prevent a lot of that and actually meaningfully impact it instead of I shrug off 6 of it. Right? Like,
yeah, that would make it scale, and this does not.
Sure, doesn't even a little bit. Final form is at 70 level, you get Awakened Astral Self. So starting at 70 level, your connection to the Astral Self is complete, allowing to unleash its full potential. As a bonus action, you can spend 5 key points to summon the arms, visage, and body of your Astral Self and awaken it for 10 minutes, which means you're getting you're spending 3 extra key points for this effect. The awakening ends early if you're incapacitated or die. While your Astral Self is awakened, you get the following benefits. And remember, this is a 70 level feature. This is competing with the likes of Meteor Swarm, Wish. It is competing with the likes of big, splashy paladin features that give you a 60-foot fly speed, auto fear on everything, and like just everything around you does bonus damage to hit, a bunch of crap like that. Your AC goes up by 2, and whenever you use your extra attack feature to attack twice, you can instead attack 3 times. 1 extra attack is kind of big. That's good. Is it 70 level good? No. No, it is not. Especially whenever
capstone feature good.
Yeah. You don't have any way to amplify those damages. Like, this option gives you once per round, you do 1 bonus martial die weapon. You don't have like hex or anything built into this. You don't have any way to like have all of your multi attacks do slightly more damage. You can, maybe dip into Warlock at the last 3 levels to pick up hex, or get Hunter's Mark from Ranger or something. Maybe you find a way to get Shadow of Moil or something to get a little bit of more bonus on damage on hit. But like, a 17 level feature giving you your 3rd attack, which is just something fighters got at level 11. That's a capstone for this class. It's not even interesting. Like, it's not even cool.
No.
It's just, you're better.
Yeah, I can't argue with you here. This is unimpressive. It's not as bad as some of the barbarian stuff we've recently covered, but
okay, that's unfair.
I mean,
those are some of the worst options in the game. This is still atrocious, right? Atrocious might be overstating. I really hate this option, but it's bad.
All right, I'm gonna look through these again. All right, so level 3, you get reach, and you get your wisdom in place of strength. Level 6, you get nothing. You see in the dark. Level 11, you get energy deflection that doesn't scale, and what's the
1 bonus die damage per round.
1 bonus die damage. And then level 17, you made it all the way here. You get a +2 to your armor class, which, I mean, that's something, but there are things you can get for that, like
Like a
gauntlets
shield.
or something. Yeah,
Like the
that's
first level spell, Divine Favor, or sorry, Shield of Faith.
and you can attack one more time. That's all right. That's disappointing.
Yeah. For what is supposed to be the Astral Self, something goes and talks to the astral plane and has like these. I'm thinking very outer space constellation-esque appearance in a lot of this stuff, right? Like stars, cosmos, being beyond one with the universe kind of crap, right?
Yeah,
I'd expect
a third
levitation
eye.
at some point. I'd expect divination. I'd expect some kind of cool out-of-body experiencing to have stuff here to do that.
Mm.
Nope. You're just a marginally better monk.
It's yeah.
You
I
can't
said
do
it
anything like
so many times when we were covering barbarian subclasses, but it's mind-boggling how these same designers. All right, these classes over here we're going to make amazing, and these over here we don't give a crap about.
I'm just always baffled by the huge divide in quality, even within the same class, right? Like we're going to touch on some other subclasses that I don't think are that bad. We're also going to touch on one that is definitely worse than this. But like, to me, it's bizarre that this is a game that a feature like Twin Enchantment for the Enchantment School Wizard can exist that doubles your spells. Like you cast an enchantment spell twice if it targets one thing. That's nuts. That's bananas. That's not even its capstone. And like, this option's capstone is a first level spell stable to extra attack. What? What are we doing here?
Yeah, all right. Well, we've covered it.
I think it's a D. I don't think it's an outright failure. I think Arms of the Astral Self, giving you the area of effect 2d4 damage, it's never gonna feel great, but it doesn't even feel, but like, sure, I guess. When I say it doesn't scale, I mean you don't get additional dice, while the dice size does go up. The 6th level feature is not worth a key point, but is technically something, because you get like some new abilities.
And you like if you do pair it with somebody that's using magical darkness, then you can take advantage of that.
Yeah. You've got body, which I find deeply underwhelming. 1 extra die, and like budgeting that extra die just means you're Innovaing a lot more, meaning you're just burning all your key points as fast as you can. Just every single round. Your first bonus action is the area of effect. I get the extra damage and I make 2 attacks, and then every round after that, you're just like flurry of blows, and you've netted a total of like 48, if that, extra damage from the empowered arms for the key point, which is like, sure, a single divine smite is so much better than that. And then we got the capstone, which is like could just be you have extra, like a 3rd attack. Like you could just not stable that to key points, and I'd be like, it's still not that good. It's like you're not doing what a vanilla fighter is doing, but I guess this is something. Vanilla fighters can use shields like at a level 11, and this is 6 levels later.
If we had done monk before barbarian, I might have given this like a D- or an F, but no, D sounds about right.
There is worse things out there.
Yeah.
And I want to be, I don't hate monks. I really don't. I know there are a lot of monk apologists out there. I'm one of monk apologists. I'm not going to apologize for this subclass. This subclass is trash. And I see way too many people use it because they think it's going to look cool. And then they're deeply disappointed whenever they're just like a vanilla monk that has pretend arms that don't matter. Like,
any monk can look cool.
Agreed. Most monks do. They just,
Yeah.
Then someone pulls out to a crossbow, and you're like, oh, your level 3 build is way better than my level 13 one.
All right, that was Way of the Astral Self. People are gonna have some opinions. We'd love to hear them down in the comments. Let us have it. What do you think about the Astral Self, Monk? What do you think of our opinions on the Astral Self, Monk? Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.